Así es, y el sábado lo vamos a demostrar por nocaut. He still has it, and Saturday we're going to show it by knockout.
Right?
Do you believe you knock him out?
Yeah, why not?
I don't want to see Terence fight Canelo, but I would love to see him fight anybody in that division, because even up to 154, because I think he's the cream of the crop.
At the final press conference, Canelo Alvarez's trainer Eddie Reynoso fired a bold warning at Terence Crawford, promising fans the best version of Canelo yet. He predicted a knockout win, confident that Canelo's power and experience will overwhelm Crawford.
I think of him sometimes like Marvin Hagler, who when he fought Duran, he gave him too much respect, and it was close. So when he fought Hearns, he thought, no, I'm going to go knock him out. What mentality do you want Canelo to have for this fight?
Me recuerdo un poco a Marvin Hagler y lo que tuvo que hacer cuando ves a Canelo, cuál es la mentalidad que él tiene con este partido. Lo mejor de su carrera, lo mejor de 20 años de preparación y de peleador, eso se va a ver el sábado. This is the best Canelo we're going to see in 20 years of career, and we're going to show it Saturday.
Canelo Alvarez, known for his fearless confidence, has promised to knock out Terence Crawford without question. Bold statements are nothing new for Canelo, whose career has been defined by knockout power and dismantling elite opponents. By guaranteeing a stoppage, he's sending a clear psychological message to Crawford and the fans.
Bomac might throw the towel in to stop the fight.
Oh, could be. In boxing, everything can happen, right?
Do you believe you knock him out?
Yeah, why not?
Canelo, you said last year you have everything to lose and nothing to gain. And because you said if he wins, if you win, you'll say he's too small.
Yeah.
Is that still the same for you now?
No, when you don't have in mind one fight, you think in that way. But when you see how big is this fight, it's a big fight.
Canelo Alvarez admitted Terence Crawford looks sharp in his new physique, but quickly dismissed it, saying it won't matter once they're in the ring. For Canelo, the fight is about proving who he truly is as a champion. He acknowledged the debates, doubts, and predictions from fans and analysts, but made it clear, only his performance in the ring will deliver the final answer.
It's good. I feel happy because that you realize it's going to be a good fight. So we expect a good fight.
There are rumours circulating. A lot of people, conspiracy theories, think that it's photoshopped. What's your opinion?
I don't think so. I don't think so. People always talk, speculate and everything, but that's good. Around big fights always happen.
You're somebody who has moved up and through the weights himself. What do you think the biggest challenge of it is, and what do you think he maybe is underestimating with it?
No, maybe they know, but if not, I'm going to remind them September 13, I can do a lot of things in the ring, and I'm going to put everything there.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez voiced strong concerns about Canelo Alvarez facing Terence Crawford or anyone in that division. He warned the size gap is too risky and could put Canelo in danger. Having already moved through multiple weight classes, Sanchez feels Canelo may be pushing his limits too far, risking both his longevity and safety in the ring.
I don't want to see Terence fight Canelo, but I would love to see him fight anybody in that division, because even up to 154, because I think he's the cream of the crop.
Well, why not Canelo? Is that just a little too much?
It'd be like Canelo fighting the Charlo. He just, even though he's got a lot of talent, it's just not enough.
Former champion Carl Froch pointed out that Terence Crawford now looks bigger and stronger, which could trouble Canelo. He reminded fans that Canelo isn't unbeatable. Losses to Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol proved that the right opponent can expose him. Froch believes Crawford's size and strength could put real pressure on Canelo in this fight.
Counter punches, fast hands, naturally the lighter man, so it's going to be naturally the quicker man. But I said earlier, he's looking bigger and stronger, so I think he's going to be able to cope with pressure from Canelo at times. But Canelo, I'm talking about, how does he win? And I think use his size, his strength, and his weight advantage, his natural weight advantage, to sort of bully Crawford around and push him back and put him under pressure, if indeed he can. And I just think that his natural ability, he's got high work rate, Canelo. He throws combination punches. He's great with a jab. He's defensive. He's a masterclass in here. He does everything really, really well, exceptionally well. But he's also tough. He's never been down, never been put over, never really looked like he'd been hurt. I mean, he's had a couple of losses, hasn't he? He's lost to Mayweather, he's lost to Dimitri Bivol, but he never really looked hurt. I think Bivol caught him with a couple of shots that may have buzzed him. Never went anywhere, did he? Never touched down on the canvas. So for Crawford to actually hit him and hurt him, or hit him and put him away, I can't see that happening. Canelo just needs to do what Canelo does, which is busy, excellent boxing masterclass work, but on his front foot and put Terence Bud Crawford under pressure. And that will probably be enough for him to get the job done. Now, for Crawford to win this fight, he's going to have to box and move, use his speed, use the ring craft, you know, the skills that we've seen time and time again. Ricky Burns, I've mentioned, Kell Brook, the big win against Errol Spence. Nobody thought that would be a one-sided whooping, but that's what it was. Terence Crawford outclassed Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a phenomenal fighter. We know how good he is, and look what Bud Crawford managed to do to him. Such a quality fighter, and he's unbeaten as well. So he's coming into this fight, doesn't know how to lose. I know he's older than Canelo Alvarez. Has he got one eye on retirement? Maybe, but he's not going to want to go out on a loss. So Crawford needs to be fast behind the jab, combination punches, busy body and head, fast leg work all the way around the ring, use his speed, make Canelo reach.
Veteran broadcaster Jim Gray called this matchup one of those rare, massive fights that come only once in a while. He explained that its appeal lies in Canelo and Crawford both being among the greatest of their era. With Alvarez's power and big fight experience against Crawford's versatility, skill, and unbeaten streak, Gray believes this clash is unpredictable, and that's exactly what makes it so captivating.
You're asking me to break down a fight. I mean, obviously the big focus is on the weight and coming up in the division. And, but look, Terence Crawford fights from both sides. And while Canelo has fought guys who, have been southpaws and so forth, they usually don't switch in the middle of the round. So you never know what can happen in these fights. Canelo is a bigger guy, and Canelo, we saw what happened to him when he went up against Bivol. So we know what that looks like. And so, it's a tough assignment to move up in weight, but Terence Crawford has taken on every tough assignment, and he looks in great shape. And this guy's really something. So it's hard to say. If you start analyzing and breaking this down, there are advantages for both.
Former champion Steve Collins gave a balanced take, admitting he can't pick a clear winner. He noted that Canelo still has enough left to beat Crawford, while Crawford might be the best fighter in the world today. With Alvarez's experience and grit against Crawford's intelligence and adaptability, Collins believes the fight will be decided by execution on the night, not by pre-fight predictions.
Firmly picking Canelo, some people firmly picking Crawford. Where's your head at with this?
I'm a fan of Canelo. I love his style. I like how he fights. I like everything about him, his boxing. Crawford is a very good fighter. And some people believe and think that maybe Canelo might not be taking him serious. People think, oh, Canelo's got this attitude, oh, I'm bigger than him, I'm stronger than him. This is what they think Canelo's thinking. And they think, people believe that Canelo goes in underestimating Crawford. He could be in for a shock. I don't believe Canelo is underestimating him because he's too long in the tooth. He's been around the game. He's too wise and too successful to underestimate anybody. But also in saying that, Canelo's been around a long time. He's got a lot of hard fights under his belt. And I wonder, is every fight, next fight is going to be his last fight? Has Canelo still got it in the tank? We don't know. We know on the night Crawford is good enough to beat him. Canelo's good enough to beat Crawford. And in saying that, I'm looking forward to the fight because I really don't know. I can't pick a winner. That's what's great about this fight because I really cannot pick a winner.
Do you think size will play a factor in this fight? Well, size can play a factor if you know how to use it to your advantage. Sometimes size can be to a disadvantage. I don't really think the size is going to make that much of a difference, really. But then Canelo is clever enough; he can use his weight to a positive. I don't really know. See, I can't simplify it and say, oh, yeah, size will make a difference. That's what's great about this fight. I can't pick a winner.
Former UFC champion Michael Bisping framed the fight around legacy. He called Canelo Alvarez the face of boxing and recognized Terence Crawford as the undisputed champion of his division. For Bisping, this clash isn't just about belts or money, it's about history. A win over an unbeaten star like Crawford would elevate Canelo's legendary career, while Crawford has the chance to prove himself against boxing's biggest name. Both men are fighting for their place in history.
after all. And let's remember that Canelo Alvarez is kind of the face of boxing, but he's currently the number 3 pound-for-pound fighter. Canelo is only number 8, and of course number 1 is Alexander Usyk.
I'm Phil.
A man that also, let's remember, moved up weight classes. If Crawford wins here, he becomes the first ever 3-weight undisputed boxing champion, but he's up against big competition in Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez is one of, if not the biggest star in boxing. All of the pressure is on Alvarez being the larger fighter, and also, as I said, being considered the face of boxing. Now, Alvarez himself, he has unified the entire super middleweight division. After moving up from lower weight classes himself, unifying is a very rare achievement, but it also means that this fight is for all of Canelo's belts. Canelo is much more experienced, of course. His resume is stacked, and he's fought some of the best from 154 all the way up to 175. People like Triple G, 3 times, Amir Khan, Floyd Mayweather, Daniel Jacobs, Miguel Cotto, to name but a few. But his home has always been at 168 pounds. Canelo is unbeaten at super middleweight and only losing twice in his whole career, versus Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight in 2022 and Floyd Mayweather years ago, 2013, at 154 pounds. Funnily enough, 154 pounds is the highest weight that Crawford has competed at. All right, if you're a boxing fan, then you're in for a treat, because we've got a fight that transcends titles. We've got Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed champion, taking on the 3-division king, Terence Crawford. That is correct.
Bruce Carrington addressed rumors of Canelo Alvarez sparring Jaron Ennis to prepare for Crawford, reminding fans that sparring is just sparring. He dismissed the idea that these sessions reveal any real advantage, stressing that practice can't be compared to the intensity and stakes of an actual fight.
I heard, like, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is sparring, bro. Like, it happens. Like, I've had my days where a dude might get the best of me, and then the next 4 or 5 times I spar him, I'm lighting him up. Like, it's like no competition at that point. That's how things happen.
But what did you say? And I could be wrong. You're the pro here, but isn't sparring the most essential part of preparing for a fight, though?
It is to a certain extent. It is. I would say, you know, but see, the thing is, like, when you're fighting, it's certain things you will and will not do. But like when you're sparring, you trying certain things. You're more loose. You're not as, like, you know, timid and thinking about throwing certain shots. Like, you're really taking your time. Like, there's certain times I'm sparring and like really like dead on sparring.
Respected analyst Max Kellerman noted that while Canelo Alvarez has headlined countless major events, this will be the biggest fight of Terence Crawford's career, his first against a star of Canelo's magnitude. Still, Kellerman stressed the bout is just as crucial for Canelo, as it ranks among the toughest challenges he's ever faced.
One thing about Canelo is he's been in a million big events. And I'm going to ask him about this just between you and me when he gets here. Don't tell him. But has he ever been in a bigger fight than this one? Is this everyone knows this is easily the biggest fight of Terence Crawford's career. But has he ever been in a fight as big as Canelo Alvarez, who's been in a million huge fights? Floyd Mayweather, that was huge, and that was Floyd, but he was young then. He was young, and he wasn't going to be in front of, 50 million people worldwide. Because this ain't a pay-per-view. This is available to everybody. I think Triple G, those were big fights, but not like this.
Boxing journalist Dan Rafael called the matchup fascinating, but cautioned that neither fighter looked their best in recent outings. He questioned if they're still at their peak, but hopes the fight pushes both to show up in top form. For Rafael, the intrigue lies in the unpredictability. This battle of greats will only live up to its hype if both deliver their absolute best.
Highly anticipated Canelo versus Crawford. It's approaching very, very soon. What do you think, Dan?
I mean, it's a big event. It's probably the biggest event of the year in boxing. They're both great fighters. They're both Hall of Famers in waiting. As a boxing fan, I'm thrilled because it's a very fascinating matchup with 2 all-time greats. With the obviously caveat that you got Terence Crawford moving up 2 different, 2 weight classes to see what he can do against the undisputed champ. Neither guy looked good in their last fight, but I suspect they're going to be a lot more into this fight. You know who you got in front of you in September, and Crawford's saying, I'm fighting the great Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's like, I'm fighting the 4-division champ, pound-for-pound type guy in Crawford that's never lost. I better be really prepared. So I'm hopeful that aspect that they're really tuned in will make it a bigger and better fight.
That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.